serves as a senior associate pastor of Snippet Life Center, Canada, and our core calling is to adorn the bride of Christ. She's a prophet, a teacher of God's word, a mentor to many, and she teaches the word of God with a brilliant anointing in conferences, school ministry, churches. She resides in Canada with her husband and children, Erita and John. Please give her a round of applause as she takes the stage. Keep clapping, keep clapping. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. Awesome. Next speaker I'm going to be inviting is my very own Esther Ejewere. She's a media strategist, columnist with the Guardian newspaper, and founder of Women of Rubies, a platform dedicated to amplifying the voices of women across the globe. Recognized as one of Canada's top 100 Black women to watch in 2023 and a MyPad Global 100 Under 40 honoree. She has also hosted Get Talking with Esther, where she leads conversation on media, branding, and empowerment. She's passionate about advocacy and community building. Esther leverages her expertise to empower women, champion inclusivity, and drive meaningful social change. Please give her a round of applause as she takes the stage. Thank you, thank you. Awesome. So, I'm going to be inviting one of the things I wanted was, I didn't want it to be an all-female panel. I was very, I had to go and find the men. And I mean find the men. Because it's easy to connect with, as a woman, to easily just see the women around you. But life has to, for a balanced view, you need to hear from both sides. The same way women are clamoring for inclusivity in the place of work and earning, so also when we come for conferences, most conferences you see men, you see women, and then we're talking about our life and how the men in our lives are involved, but we do not carry them along enough. So I'm going to be bringing on our next panelist, Babajide Shiwoku. He's a seasoned entrepreneur, banker, tech sales strategist with over 20 years experience spanning mortgage, SME, banking, fintech, strategic partnerships as well. He's the co-founder and CEO of Local Pro Inc., where he helps Africans and global SMEs to scale into North America through market research, digital transformation, and expansion strategy. He's held senior leadership roles in Standard Chartered Bank, Union Bank of Nigeria, and the Royal Bank of Canada, where he managed commercial portfolio focused on business, professional, and mining. He also pioneered mortgage solutions, led high-performing sales team, and delivered innovative financial strategies across multiple markets. Yes, he's academically holds BSc, MSc, completed executive program in AI, business strategy. He's also the co-founder of B&O Consult, which supporting African professionals in navigating global space. He is widely known for his inclusive leadership style, strategic mind, and passion for impact. He continues to shape the future of financial services through innovative mentorship and cross-border collaboration. Please once again give a round of applause for Mr. Babajide. Thank you so much for honoring us with your presence. I will be bringing on stage Tayo Badejo. She's a dynamic leader and community builder. She's an advocate for women navigating career transitions and growth with a background that spans technology, HR, accounting, and agile delivery. Tayo brings a unique blend of heart and strategy to every room she enters. She currently works in the tech space and is passionate about helping others connect the dots between their purpose, potential, and professional journey. As a speaker, mentor, and lifelong learner, Tayo uses her story from Lagos to Toronto and now thriving in Canada to inspire others to grow boldly and lead authentically. Please once again give a round of applause for Tayo. Yes, my panelists are complete. Are we streaming now? Yes. Awesome. Okay. Number one question. Number one question is Lagos. No, I don't want to assume everybody came from Lagos to Canada because some who did not come from Lagos. You see, I would have assumed Lagos to Canada, but what state did you come from?
So, from Qatar.
Qatar to Canada, Middle East, fantastic. And you, Abuja, you see? So it's not the story isn't Lagos to Canada alone, but the story is you came to Canada, and that's the story everybody here can relate with. So my first question is going to be around what was the most challenging part of that journey, and what has been your most powerful opportunity from that journey? Challenge, opportunity, because for me they both can be the same, depends on how you look at it. Many people focus on the challenge without seeing the opportunity, but everybody came with the intention of there is an opportunity. So can you tell us, we'll go through the conversation like this, I'm starting with you, but I really want to know what were the challenges of, and you were coming from a developed country, so, but were there challenges in your migration, and what were the opportunities that you took advantage of? Because I want everybody here today to be able to see the challenges and see the opportunities. I want everybody here to say that at least everybody seated here have taken advantage of different opportunities. Maybe one of the opportunities you mentioned can become an inspiration for them. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here. First time in an environment like this. I'm grateful for the opportunity. About women, first of all, just very briefly before I answer the question, I have 2 daughters. So I live in a house full of women already. Majority of my clients are women, and I find that women are more driven for growth, and they also are more open to learning. For whatever reason, us men feel like we already know it, and therefore we are not always open to learn. So thank you so much for this opportunity. So yeah, I left Nigeria in 2010, was in Qatar for about 7 years, then we moved to Canada. My wife and I, with our 2 girls, we moved here in 2017, and the biggest challenge we had by far was getting a job. Unlike many of those, so we have a big Nigerian community in Qatar as well because of the engineering, but many who went there for the oil, and most of them would bring their families and then go back as the men. So they would leave their wives and kids here, then they would go back because it was hard to get a job. I cannot survive without my wife and my children, so I came with all of us believing and trusting God that something would happen. 7 months, 7 solid months before we both landed our first jobs here. And in those 7 months, it was hard. It was also during winter, so the cold weather also added to the challenges. It was always very hard. After dropping my kids in school, I'll come back home, I'll be in the driveway, I'll just sit down there, not cry, but similar to crying, just asking God that, what is happening, what is it taking so long, and all of that. But to your other question about the opportunity, the breakthrough happened when my wife and I connected with people who helped us get our first jobs. I got my first job through an employment agency. The people I met in there have helped me with other things over the years to get other jobs, even to the point of getting contracts in the business that we run now. The same with my wife. So one thing I learned through that was the fact, exactly to what Tim was saying earlier, that you cannot do life here on your own. You need to be connected with people. As they are pulling you up, you are pulling others up as well. So the opportunity I've gotten from this is just connection, connection, connection. I'm here on a public holiday because I'm also hungry to connect some more. So really thank you for that. That'll be my response, yeah.
All right, thank you so much. No man would acknowledge their crying. Me, I'm a crier. I said it when I was 30, I cried. I was like, this cannot be all there is to life, there must be more. I would have, even today, as I was driving and I saw that I'll be arriving 11:05. I saw the car, I'll be late. I said, we'll be late for my plane. I'm like, then that's how water just came. So water is not far from me. Water is not far from me. Just don't do anything because in 2 seconds, with all sincerity of emotion, I will cry. So, but when I finish the crying, I do like David. I'll encourage myself and then go and sit again and we figure it out. So, over to you, ma. What was your story?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. So my story is I brought my daughter to Canada in 2022 to school, and that was in January. And in June, the Lord said move to Canada. When I got back home in February, I told my husband, I said, I can't live in Canada. You know, because Canada feels like America light. You know, I mean, you understand what I'm saying. You know, in America, things are big, things are firm, you know, and all that. And you come here, and it feels like everything is chill. People don't have a drive for certain kind of success, you know, and, you know, it felt like, God, I can't live in that place. And that was February, and in June, God said, move to Canada. Now we built a church in Nigeria, you know, it was good, very good, and so we were not looking forward to moving anywhere. Because we had community, we had family, everything was there, and we were thriving until God said. And so the biggest challenge for me was moving across continent where you don't know anybody, and then we moved from Lagos to Abuja. It was challenging, and now moving across continent, and I just didn't know how that was going to be. So that was one of my greatest challenge. It wasn't even what we faced here. It was looking ahead into the unknown, thinking about what we were leaving behind, community that we have built. How do you build a community in a place where you don't know anybody? You know, but we came here, and then the opportunity, in spite of the fact that we didn't know anybody, but because we had the word of the Lord, we knew that God was going to do what he was going to do. And we came, we started, you know, we did not even want to do what we did back in Nigeria. We just wanted to obey the Lord. And then the Lord said, start a church. And when we started the church, we were 8 to 10 people for 8 months. Yes, and you know, so that was part of the challenge. But we knew that the Lord had sent us here to break the ground in this place. And so we broke the ground, and then people started coming, you know, so I don't know. Yeah.
So for me, you talking about the opportunity, because I'm curious. People don't find it easy to talk about, to see the hard work it takes to build a ministry, because they feel, in most cases, you know, God said, God did. So at the end of the day, they'll be like, I think that people did not hear from God, and like, God did not tell me to come. I now me say I will come. So it's a bit, there's a little bit of difference, and people tend to excuse the hard work it takes to build a church. It's easy to say you built a business, but you built. So what's the side of the church now? Like, what's the side of your church now?
The size.
Yes.
About 40, 45.
Yeah, and this is your facility.
Yes.
That like, so we don't. That's, please give her a round of applause. You know, that's big. So, but I'll come back to you with another question. Let me hear her story.
For me, the challenge was thinking that you have everything put together or planned, and then realizing that you don't. So my husband and I, we were like project people, project managers. And so I remember when 2016, we went to have our son in the US. I had this workbook on my computer, project birthing in the USA. So everything from visa to everything we had there. So we came to Canada 2020, and obviously we had projects, we moved to Canada. Everything we did, we had the jobs. We even to the point of factoring if we didn't have jobs for 6 months, you know. But one thing we missed, we didn't leave allowance for, which is on like project managers, allowance for things like earthquake or tsunami. We didn't leave allowance for a pandemic. We arrived Canada February 1st, 2020.
Oh my God.
And the pandemic seems so far away. I remember my husband telling us to use the face mask and buy sanitizer. I was like, this man's safe. You're overdue too much, that there's no pandemic here now. But you know, coming in and everything is shutting down, and obviously that means that your plans will be truncated, and you have to start thinking of other things. Was crazy. I almost went into depression, honestly, because I've never been idle in my life. I've always worked, right from college, right from university, work. Then you come here and then everybody's shutting down. But the opportunity there was I then had time to connect with people. I remember then there was so many webinars online, there was something online. And so I was just scrolling through LinkedIn and I would just find one, I would sign up. So I would wake up in the morning, have my bag, dress up as if I was going to work, and it was all like free webinars, connecting with people. And so by the time things started to ease in, I knew that I already knew the people that I wanted to take as mentors. I already knew people that were doing great things, and I could see how great I could be in Canada if I just had them close. So that was it for me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. I couldn't even spend time talking about mentorship because it is extremely important. And some people are now in Nigeria, everything is business. We have commercialized mentorship. So now what you see more is the paid mentorship. But I tell people, even if you pay a mentor, if you don't have a relationship with that mentor, your money will waste and you get nothing. That you can pay that money because you feel that this will give me access. Some people they have value, but they just feel like people are taking advantage of me so much. I will not just be giving myself to everybody. Pay. But when you pay that money, you must challenge yourself to build a relationship and nurture the relationship. Because she said she did online courses, but she used that to trigger access to some relationships that will later serve. And we don't have a pandemic now, but we still have those. The world changed because we now have online courses, online programs. There are people that you would meet, and from your conversations, when I met I interviewed Bukoshika recently. Now she has seen me, I attend her conferences. But when I interviewed her, I made her know how much I followed her because I was quoting specific, I quoted her event, quoted YouTube video, one YouTube video, two YouTube, like I was quoting in a way, even during the break, she had to say like, no, I've stalked her, I have access, but I let her understand how much I value her based on the way I responded to her. So she has a paid mentorship. I've not entered, I did not pay. But if I need her for something, I have access because she already knows that this person. So when we build relationships, you can't say, my book is available. You cannot say you want to be, you cannot buy my book. It's just 20 pieces, you should buy it. Thank you. All right. Just an aside. All right, sir. I'd like to hear your story.
For the opportunity. And for me, anytime I have the opportunity to speak or come to an event, I come with the mindset of learning because I want to get a different perspective about everything. So for me, I'm a firm believer that success is not in the location, it's right inside of you. So regardless of where you are, you'll be successful. So that was my mindset when I was living in Nigeria. And I also believe that when you pray to God, God answers prayers in two ways. He gives you vision and He gives you people that will fulfill those vision. It's your responsibility to fulfill that vision and your responsibility to manage those relationships that will fulfill that. It will not come down and do it for you. And also, I'm also a very believer in, when you give and give and all that, tithes and everything. But if being successful is like tithing, everybody will be tithing and will not want to do any other work.
Yeah, exactly.
They will tithe, give everything, and they will continue, they will not want to do anything else. So coming to Canada, I had, everything planned out. That what I'm going to do when I get here, the next thing I'm going to do. So I didn't see any challenge right in front of me coming. Before I left, my executive director already recommended me to somebody in Scotiabank and all that. And that's the power of relationship. Where money stops, relationship starts. So all my coming into Canada has been based on relationship that I've built in the past. So we came in 2017, but I was shocked because I was not ready to leave Nigeria. I was doing so well. I wasn't ready to leave. So I came on vacation in 2020. Then the pandemic started. But I was still working from Nigeria. So I prayed again, and somebody just told me that, okay, go on LinkedIn, start connecting with all the top executives in all the banks. I connected with some Nigerians, and guess what? The CEO, the executive director of Royal Bank of Canada, just reached out to me. I messaged her. 30 minutes later, she reached out. Said, how are you there? I said, are you in Canada? I said, yes. Another 30 minutes, she said, send me your resume. I sent her my resume. The next 30 minutes, they come in for interview. 3 days later, I started working.
Wow.
Till I left, like,
Please, I just heard that's God. Yes, but he told you what
let
to do.
let me explain. There's always a God factor in everything.
Yeah.
Don't ever forget that God does not encourage this.
Yes.
He would show you what is your responsibility to do it. He has done it past 2,000 years ago. That is why the Bible says he rested on the 7th day. That means there's nothing else to do. And that's why I keep telling people that on earth there's still lots of opportunities because we are not reimagining things that have been done before. There's nothing new on that before. So that is how I landed in Canada. Challenges are, I'm a planner to the T. So I won't say I didn't see any challenge, but my major challenge was culture shock. When I come in here, what it's going to look like. I was never concerned about getting a job because I was just knew God was going to go ahead of me and make everything happen. One of the first challenges that I mentioned was the culture shock when I came in. And I remember my direct boss, asking me that, oh, you just joined, let's go for coffee. In Nigeria, when your manager takes you for coffee, you will pay. So I just started designing this guy. The guy took his coffee and paid his own money. I said, oh, God, this one. And used to, when your manager takes you out in Nigeria, your manager is responsible for everything. I'm glad that I took my wallet with me. So I just went and so those kind of things were just things I was trying to get myself into to understand. But again, my mentality was always my structure is right inside of me, not in any location. Even if I'm in Abeokuta, maybe I'm successful as I am. And another thing that is important, so just to mention, is the relationship that you keep. For every relationship you keep, you must bring value to that relationship. The day you don't bring value, the day that person starts avoiding you.
Some of you, they are judging you right now.
The day you stop bringing value, the person stop seeing value in the relationship, the day the person just starts avoiding you. All right, thank you so much.
Wow, please give him a round of applause. That was everybody has just been dropping. Please, how many career professionals do we have here? Like you work in many of us are entrepreneurs. Okay, it's almost evenly balanced. But there's something both of you have mentioned, LinkedIn. Obviously, if you cannot joke with him, you cannot be like me. I sleep on Instagram and Facebook, but that's where my money is. I do real estate. My friends are telling me there's more money inside LinkedIn. I should go there. I'm not taking it seriously. I have someone doing for the business. But as a career professional, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. And another thing I heard from him was the level of confidence and conviction about the value that he carries. See, if people don't perceive arrogance when you talk, you are not a confident person. You must talk with it. You are boasting in God. You are boasting in the level of development and investment you have put into yourself. It was saying it. I don't need to. I've always got that work. Looking for a job is not going to be a problem. Why? Because he's invested in himself and he's confident about his ability and his trust in God. But his confidence in ability. I think that sometimes this, and it's more common in my culture, Yoruba, we are very humble. We cower a bit, and we don't want to be seen as being too assertive and proud or talking about our achievements. We cannot afford not to talk about our achievements. It is important. You must get comfortable with selling yourself, selling your value, highlighting any achievement, no matter how you think it is. But you see what we are doing here today. This is my small meter. You will see the way we are going to publicize it. Because it is important that you tell your story. You wouldn't have gotten a job if you did not reach out. You wouldn't have gotten if you did not have a CV ready that highlights his achievement and the contribution that he could make to the organization. So we need to change how we look at it. And for some people, take this lesson and start arranging what you're going to do. And that is why she's here. Because I had some things, and I'll say it before I ask. I had things I had done 10 years ago, 8 years ago, that I did not. My wonderful children are making noise. You know, I had things I had done that I was trying to put together my CV for something, and they were like, "Oh, do you have any? Is there any media to back up these things you said you've done?" And I was checking Facebook. I had Facebook posts from them, but Facebook posts is not official media. So it was a case of I had to have a meeting with him and the current person. I'm like, okay, I need to get on Wikipedia. Her team got me on Wikipedia. I need to acknowledge back, like put this write-ups that show what I did then. Because you cannot use your mouth to say, oh, I impacted on 200 lives. I did a training. I did free training for over 200 people, free on makeup. But there was nothing, you can't Google it. You will see a Facebook page of graduation. And that does not carry the weight. So I needed to come to her to retell my story in the appropriate way, even though I've been on TV. So, but she's in Canada. And she was charging me Canadian dollars. And me, I was earning in Naira. I was telling her, my sister, I'm earning Naira. Oh. You cannot use my money to take care of Canada bills. Oh. But she's been an amazing sister. Please let me give her a round of applause. Honestly, she's been really amazing to me. I love her to do. All right, so sis, how was it? Opportunity and challenges. Lagos to Toronto.
Okay, my story is a bit different. First of all, I want to say thank you. I came here as a student, so the first culture shock or the shock was I am going to do this. Children was 3 and 4. And I had to keep myself together because, like I say, nobody's going to save you. So it was just me and my 2 little children, and I would never forget my daughter asking me, "Mommy, where are we going? You know, Mommy, where are we going?" And by the time we got here, you know, it was more challenging. There was no mommy to go and drop the children. There was no sister to say, please help me go to daycare. And the first opportunity that came, I also believe that it was divinely orchestrated because I have gone to volunteer and I was just speaking to somebody, then this executive director of a company on Young Street walked in and they said they needed a communications assistant. And luckily for me, I carried my CV. So in that moment, he said, do you have your CV? You've done so much. I said, you can check me out on Wikipedia, you can, you know, because I needed the job. So for me, the drive was different. I got to pay bills. and then he said, okay, we're going to arrange something for you to come into the office. And that was the first job I had in Canada. Now, this job made my life and my children's life very easy. As a matter of fact, I was here for a couple of days before I even posted. And it's a Nigerian thing. I'm like, let me just do this my job. Nobody know where they work. You know. But the beauty of it is that when I was in that company, I gave myself. I was working with the vice president on communications, and at the point she was not in the office, we always we give farmers you know, donations and all that and funding. And I would carry this job on my head. We would have activation across Toronto. I would go with the team. They want somebody that they would use as inclusive, DEI, use me. Right? Use me. I'm a black woman. You know, my friends will say, oh, I'm like, nah, don't worry. I know what I'm doing. You know, and till date, the company still use that advert on their website because I was able to. Now, when that contract ended, my reality came back once again because it was just me. And you know, another job came, and since then I've been able to manage that with me being an entrepreneur. But I would say that life is different for single mothers in Canada. Our reality is different. And I'm saying it in the room today. If you meet a single mom, please be kind. It's different for me because I was able to show people that broken crayons still color. I was able because I also had good family. My mother did not give up on me. At every point of the journey, there was, how can I help? And there were people who God just placed in my path in this country who don't know me, or for some reason, they always stand up for me. And these are not people that look like me. And that told me a story. God wanted you to come here to learn something new about humanity. Your blessing does not have to come from those who look like you. Everybody I worked with in that office, there were just 2 black people. 2 black people. So when people talk about racism, I don't have that story. And I cannot lie. The story I have is the story of a community of people who wanted to see me win. Right? And there were some challenges to, like daycare. Sometimes I have to leave my job when they call me from my children's school. But they were understanding. So I would say it made my journey. And when I was leaving, it was not easy for me to leave. But because I had used that relationship, and every time I needed something, I always go back to them. So, I mean, the opportunity was from the get-go. I don't know what prayer my mom prayed, but that job was what set me up in Canada. And it gave me a different confidence, because when you are passionate about something, being a media person, honestly, if I'd come here and I'd work in tech, I don't know how I would have coped. But because I was in a room where I was able to explore my talents, my skills, they would give me a brief and I'm running with it. And that helped me. So that's my story. And once again, you know, it's a bit different. It's challenging. I put it this way, but there were moments where I would cry, because believe me, there is nothing like a home, a full household where there is a supportive partner. And when that is not in the equation, it is you are the sole sounding board of everybody in the family. Yeah. So there are times that I've given up, not like giving up on myself, but I will just withdraw, because my children need me. And if I am not present, you all know what children's services in this country, they're coming for you. So there were many things I had to give up, there were things that I had to let go, because I had to balance between being a present parent, one parent is already missing, and being a career woman. And right now, I am balancing both. And honestly, I am proud to be a present parent.
Celebrate you, sis. Please give her a round of applause. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I really wanted that perspective. I feel that because I know a little part of the story, the one you share publicly, I wanted that perspective out, because there is a sense of normalizing a strong woman and diminishing the role of a supportive partner. So you see women gather in their bitter, broken space, talk about how he's not doing much, I can do without him, let me do on my own, without understanding the entire picture of the impact of their heartbreak, selfish decision, whatever it is. Except your life is very present in a relationship. I believe that two partners are the best and ideal way to make things work. And life is sweeter when you're not doing it alone. Parenting is sweeter when you're not doing it alone. My children are dressed today, but I'm wearing the iron. That's the truth. I was cooking, was bringing out what they wear. It's easier that way. And while I wanted her to sit and talk about the strength and the challenge and the opportunities, is that even if you find yourself as a single mother, you will thrive and you will succeed and your children will be okay. Because I have another friend of mine that is currently, hello? I have a friend that is already also relocated with, in our case, 4 children as a single mother. And I told her, I said, you will find love again. you will have a very sweet, happy marriage, because in the previous one, she was being beaten black and blue, so I was happy she had left. So, but it was important that I gave a context of hope in her situation. But for those that have two, it's the context of let us make it work. Let's not lose marriages in the altar of immigration, which is happening a lot. A whole lot. I don't know how bad it is in Canada, but I know it is horrible in the UK. And it breaks my heart when I see managing marriages, which is what most marriages are. We manage each other. As you're managing me, I'm managing you. But when we get into a tough environment in the diaspora, that managing is shaken, and very few are able to survive. And so we need to stand in gap for one another. We need strong men mentoring husbands. We need women supporting wives. So that, and that's the part where I cannot take away church. Because if the stronger the church system, it helps when marriages are a bit shaken. But that it will shake. Even the happiest marriages shake. It is a case of we are intentional that we will not lose this marriage because we are now in Canada. We will not lose this marriage because we are here. Even if it is challenging, we'll find a way to make it work. Because you don't want to see the other side. You don't want to. You don't want to see what it's like to manage a family when both parties are in different parts of the country or in different parts of the world. No matter how strong you are as a woman or how strong you are as a man, you would see the gap, because it wasn't meant to be like that. So I just wanted to highlight that part of our story. And then another thing I want to mention is sometimes we feel like our help is going to come from our brothers and our sisters or somebody we know. When I started my real estate journey, my customers, my first 1 year, I didn't have nobody I knew bought from me. And I tell realtors around me, why are you forcing your uncle or auntie? Your life is not, your uncle or auntie in diaspora is not your customer. Because they've seen you do many other businesses that fail. So most likely they will not even want to entrust their money with you. Their first thought will be that I'm not doing this, it's not charity. So I ask people, throw your nets wide open and be receptive. Sometimes we are so guarded and we think they are not kind to me. But if you look at yourself, you are a fool, you are wearing full armor. You are approaching somebody, but you are wearing it's like I'm holding AK-47 and I'm wearing everything and I'm telling you, help me. Your first action is to step back. And then I say, I approach them. They step back from me. And have you looked at yourself in the mirror? I've said this mirror thing over and over again. We need to look at ourselves. Self-reflection is important. If you feel they're not helping you, you might look and say, you might be the one unconsciously repelling or being aggressive or whatever it is you're doing. It might be inside. And if you fix the inner man, everything outside would reflect and the changes would happen. So I just have to say it again that please, if the Nigerian man does not help you or your Nigerian sister does not help you, don't worry. You will help them. But you will help them without pain. But be open, because if that person doesn't help you, maybe it is the Indian person, or it is the Mexican person, or it is the Filipino that will help you. It doesn't matter. What you must believe is that God will never, ever leave you. And you must have it as a strong conviction in your spirit that something will show up. No matter what, it is impossible for me to be stranded. Something will show up. God will show up. Someone, anyhow, it will show up and I'll be okay. Once you're able to have that level of conviction, you will not give up easily over small challenges that you're probably going through. All right, let me continue with my questions as we are cruising speedily. The time is running very fast. Because I spoke about family, I would go to Pastor Paul, Apostle Robin, and Pastor Robin Paul. I'd like to ask you, you've worked in ministry for 14 years, and you've worked in ministry across continents and across culture. And I'd like you to talk about how to keep and maintain this healthy balance between ministry, family, and raising children.
That's actually very, very interesting. So I loved when you started talking about family and how to, well, the way it rattles, the way migrating to a place rattles